Hello, Andy here, and today we're celebrating the National Thank You Day here at Ashford St Peter's, and we just wanted to take a time out to give some really well-deserved thank yous out.
So as Andy says, this is a day when we can take an opportunity to reflect on the extraordinary work and team effort that you guys have been putting in over the last 18 months or so, certainly through the duration of the pandemic. And we'd particularly like to thank all of our permanent team who've just been amazing. All of those members of the team who have either been working on the bank or who have come to support us through temporary working arrangements. All of our volunteers and those who have come to support very special pieces of work like the vaccination hub. Absolutely fantastic to see that so many members of our local community were able to come and support that, and those that were furloughed from industries such as the airline industry and from the hospitality industry and from the district and boroughs. So thank you all for being amazing.
We'd also like to thank our community. We've had such great support over the last 18 months. And really, so many people have added to that. We've had our Nourish Our Nurses campaign, the Help Your NHS. We've had so many voluntary groups. We've had schools sending goodwill messages, cards, fundraising. We've had individuals doing things like scrubs for us. We've been really overwhelmed with the amount of support that we've had from communities. Also businesses, local businesses have really chipped in and supported us. So through the pandemic, a big thank you to all those.
And as part of this thank you film, we wanted to share with you some of the things that we've spoken about recently, the yearbook, and of course, the COVID star. And we're going to give you a sense of how things are progressing with those special mementos that will give us something permanent to have and to reflect upon, and tell you the story about where those ideas have come from and who is contributing to them.
Hi, it's Louise here. You might have read about this in Aspire. We are producing a yearbook and we will have a copy for everybody. A hardback copy, hopefully something that you can put on your coffee table and you can talk to your family and friends about. Within the yearbook, we will be documenting exactly how we rose to the challenge, how you had to be retrained into doing a different job and going in supporting the front line, how we moved wards virtually overnight, and how we completely changed the way in which we work. We'll also be celebrating some of the things that we've done to globally try and support the pandemic in terms of things like the research that our research team have been working on and that's had national recognition. The yearbook will be something for each member of staff. We'll have an event in September or sometime later in the year where we will be gifting the yearbook to you. And hopefully it will be something that you'll feel really proud of and that you'll be able to remember your contribution to this really difficult 18 months. So a thank you from me. Watch out for the communication around the yearbook, and I really hope you enjoy reading it and sharing it with your family and friends.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is James Thomas, the Chief Operating Officer here. As many of you will know, we are purchasing the COVID star as one of the items for our staff recognition this year. And today I'm joined by Harry Gray, the designer of the medal. Great to have you, Harry.
Thank you.
And what if you could tell us what inspired you to come up with this? Because when I come across you, you'd already made the piece.
Yeah, last March, just before the lockdown, I was in Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge with a broken leg. And I could see what was happening. I could see the hospital changing and the worry and the beginning of sort of the stress on the medical services. They got me out quicker than they would have done in my cast because Addenbrooke's had to change into a COVID response hospital. And people kept saying they deserve a medal, referring to the NHS workers. And I had a medal in my studio, which I was using because I'd been commissioned to make the nurse pavilion for Chelsea Flower Show. That was cancelled. I thought, well, I'll do something. What can I could do something here. I could make a contemporary one. Then very quickly I found myself in a hospice, looking where my father was for his last couple of weeks. And I actually designed it in the hospice with my dad, and the staff nurses saw my design and they said, it's great, but it's a little bit too big. We don't want something that goes in a drawer. We want something elegant we can wear. So I changed the scale of it and some of the design based on the comments by the carers and the staff nurses. Yeah. So it's evolved accidentally in a sort of collaboration with NHS workers. Its background is a reference to what's called the Maltese cross, and we'll all know this shape. It's the shape used by St John's Ambulance, and it's the shape used by the Florence Nightingale badges of St Thomas. It's an ancient device from the 12th century, and I thought it was important that whatever I did had a relevance to the way we have recognised healthcare professionals in the past, but somehow I needed to get that contemporary element in the way that I got the shell cases for the Twickenham Rose and Poppy gates. I needed something serious. So in the centre of my design, I've got the molecule of the COVID protein, which the vaccines use to hook onto. You'll see little bumps, and that's the spike protein. It's very subtle, but it's serious, and it's there at the heart of the design.
But it's also a very, very beautiful piece, isn't it? The way it's made is really quite interesting. It's made in this country. It's made in Birmingham.
It is. And I found a really old established firm in Birmingham who make specialist medals and badges. And they said, yeah, we're in a bit of trouble with the recession, but if this happened, it would really help them. And I asked, would it help? Would you take on new apprentices? And they said, yes. And they made a prototype. I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. And because of the order from Ashford and St Peter's, not only have they got the work, but they have taken on 2 young apprentices. So they've now got jobs out of this, which is really important to me.
So we're your first big customer.
You definitely are.
Yeah.
Since you've ordered it, the Rowan Hospital where my father died, they've also ordered it, which is very meaningful to me because I designed it there and their care made my dad's last few weeks very, very special. On Friday, Adam Brooks got in touch at Cambridge, and they've taken a sample in this weekend, as have St Bart's and St Thomas's. So who knows where it goes from here.
And other trusts as well have been interested, haven't they? So
yeah, they have. So I don't know what happens next, but I'd be very excited if Ashford and St Peter's lead the way.
Yeah, I mean, we're delighted to do that. One of the things that, I mean, as a spin-off really, not only are we getting this into the organisation, which was our primary aim, but we are really excited about helping you on this journey of getting it, out there, getting the message out there.
That'd be brilliant.
This is an amazing piece.
Yeah.
And Harry, it's a really interesting piece around because you've set up a company directly to purely manage this. It's purely for charity.
Yeah.
There's no profit made.
No, there's none.
Did you want to tell us about because you've set up a company as well, haven't you?
I have indeed.
Nods to your father again.
Yeah, the company I wanted somehow to refer to my dad. He was the Queen's drummer in the Horse Guards, and they were called the Blues, and his name was Gray. So I've called it Blue Grey Projects because we did it together, and I've set it up separately to my own business so that I can run it properly as a non-for-profit.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done.
Thank you, Harry. Thank you for coming down, and thank you so much for the work you and your team are doing on these. It's great to have you in the organisation, but also able to give us some of the real depth to this. It isn't just something we saw on the shelf. There's a lot of story behind this medal, isn't there? A lot of story behind the design and the manufacture. So thank you for sharing that with us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching this short film. I hope it's been valuable and provided some insight into the COVID star. I was really looking for something that was not only beautiful but had real value. And since I've been doing this piece of work, I've got to know Harry really quite well. We've spoke on lots and lots of occasions, and I'm really pleased that he was able to come and join us and share the story of all of the design and what inspired him to design the medal, what it was inspired by and based on, and also about the manufacture as well and how it's created employment. And I hope that it goes some way to providing part of the package of recognition that we're putting in place, and we're really looking forward to be able to share these medals and give these medals to the organisation and give them to all of you later on in the summer.